If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led, like sheep to the slaughter. It is better to be alone, than in bad company. My mother was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. All I am, I owe to my mother. I attribute my success in life to the moral, intellectual and physical education I received from her. Human happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. 99% of failures come from people who make excuses. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. There is nothing which can better deserve our patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire, called conscience. Perseverance and spirit have done wonders in all ages. Associate yourself with men of good quality, if you esteem your own reputation, for 'tis better to be alone than in bad company. A sensible woman can never be happy with a fool. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. Happiness depends more upon the internal frame of a person's own mind than on the externals in the world. The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. The turning points of lives are not the great moments. The real crises are often concealed in occurrences so trivial in appearance that they pass unobserved. To encourage literature and the arts is a duty which every good citizen owes to his country. I conceive a knowledge of books is the basis upon which other knowledge is to be built. Paper money has had the effect, in your state, that it will ever have, to ruin commerce, oppress the honest, and open the door to every species of fraud and injustice. Real men despise battle, but will never run from it. We must consult our means, rather than our wishes. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those be well tried, before you give them your confidence. Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. We should not look back, unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors, and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. There is nothing so likely to produce peace as to be well prepared to meet the enemy. Be not glad at the misfortune of another, though he may be your enemy. No punishment, in my opinion, is too great for the man who can build his greatness upon his country's ruin. The great rule of conduct for us, in regard to foreign nations, is, in extending our commercial relations, to have with them as little political connection as possible. I hold the maxim no less applicable to public than to private affairs, that honesty is always the best policy. It is substantially true that virtue or morality is a necessary spring of popular government. The rule, indeed, extends with more or less force to every species of free government. I'll die on my feet before I'll live on my knees. It is absolutely necessary for me, to have persons that can think for me, as well as execute orders. Decision-making, like coffee, needs a cooling process. Strive, not with your superiors in argument, but always submit your judgment to others with modesty. Wherein you reprove another, be unblameable yourself, for example, is more prevalent than precepts.